Hi there. Hello and welcome. I'm running out of places to put stuff. Hello. I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Hello. Yeah, well, it sounds like I took time off, but I really didn't take that much time off. The first week that I didn't have anything, I did have friends in town. And then the second week, I went to Concord and Ninth to teach at that event. And, I had to, beginning half of the week, I had to prep for it. And then I was in Utah for Concord and Ninth event, which was so much fun, so much fun. Hello, I'm glad you're here. I will say that I'm sorry that I don't keep a regular schedule like a lot of other crafters do. It doesn't work for me, and it doesn't work for my family, and that's a priority. So, for example, I'm going live tonight. I was going to go live tomorrow night. I've moved that to Saturday because my son wanted to go see Savannah Bananas with me, and I'm not going to turn that down. So I moved Friday night's live, tomorrow night's live. I've moved it to Saturday at 1. So I'm live today and then Saturday at 1, and then who knows after that. You made a Christina Werner Mahjong card. Lila learned Mahjong. She didn't want to. She thought it looked boring. Now she's looking at tiles to buy. Yeah. Or I should say for me to buy. So I only have one tile set because they're kind of expensive. Well, no, they are expensive. I got one because it was a card-themed tile set that a company did with Hallmark. And I had to have that. That's my one set. Anyway, hi Betsy. Hello, hello, welcome. Okay. I thought I would do some stretching of supplies, literally and figuratively, I guess. I hadn't done a video where I show the many ways press plates can be used in a while, and I have since found a fourth that works very well. So I thought I'd go through that today with lots of examples, and I'm using all older product today, products that I've wanted to use for a while, and some products that I have used and I wanted to use again. So yeah, I like to stick with the really good quality Mahjong sets, and Christina doesn't influence me. Christina and I learned Mahjong at the same time from Kathy Rakusin. She just fell down the rabbit hole, and I stood right at the top of the rabbit hole looking in. I get to play with her pretty tiles instead. Anyway, so I am just playing with some products. I'm also going to talk about how to stretch your products kind of literally into making bigger cards too. I know that some people like A6, which is 4.5 by 6.25, my favorite size. Some people like 5 by 7, and so I'm going to play around with a bunch of different things. Press plates, it's a category of products that are becoming more common in the industry, and I know not everyone has a BetterPress system. So today I'm going to show you other ways you can use press plates, 2 of which require no special systems, okay? So, Laura, I'm not sure about that. Try it on other things. The fine print is over on my website, so you can see that there. It's probably Spellbinders products only, maybe. But okay, so let me tell you what's, I'm gonna show some Japan supplies probably tomorrow. Mike set them out to do today, but I have a sore throat and I'm not sure how long I'll make it today, so I have it set up, I'm sorry, for Saturday. So where I could have a little more time to show some of it. Yes, so if you don't have a BetterPress system, don't worry, because what the techniques I'm going to show you could be in the card designs, could be used with other things too. So just stick around. I think it'll be really fun. I'm excited about playing with these products, and they're products from Yana Smokola, who's one of my favorite crafters and one of my favorite humans. And so I'm excited to use her products again. So I let Spellbinders know I was going to do this live, and they are giving 20% off Sitewide to everybody here. Mike, can you put up the post, the image? You have to use my code at checkout. They can't honor it if you don't use the code. It is through the 20th. Mike, did I put 20th in the YouTube description? I feel like I put longer. It should be the 20th. Hold on. Make sure.
You said 20th.
Okay, and on my blog too. So it's through the 20th. You have to use my code. There are exceptions. Oh, Spellbinders is here. Who's here? Is it Kim?
Maybe.
Let me know who it is at Spellbinders. Spellbinders, somebody asked about color cubes. Are those on sale? Or is it just Spellbinders branded products? So somebody had a question about that. But basically you have 20% off site-wide, and there are some exclusions.
It did not work on color cubes for me.
Okay. Hi, Rachel. So let's see. There are some exclusions. Big exclusions include anything that's considered new release, which is anything from April, May, or June. But all the other products work with that. Hi, Nicole. Nicole, let me know if it works on like non-Spellbinder products, if the code should work on it, because we're seeing it's not, so I just wondered. And also, it doesn't work on the clearance because those are already marked down so low. But what this does work on are things like the craft stacks and cardstock and all of that. So if you have questions, Nicole from Spellbinders is here, and you can tag Spellbinders and hopefully they can answer those. So I'm really excited. This is a very generous offer, and all the products I'm using today are included. All right. Also right now, hi Fran. Mike, can you put up the other image? So that's exclusive to me. You got to use my code. But also right now it is Spellbinders birthday month. And to celebrate, hi Linda, to celebrate, they're giving away a free little dragon die set. You can see the little dragon there, he's so cute. You get that free with orders of 150 or more. So there's the free gift at 150 or more. There is free shipping at 100, and you get my 20% off. The Spellbind, it's only on Spellbinders products over on the Spellbinders website. That's what they just let me know. So you can come back here, Mike. So you get 20% off all of the Spellbinders products on their website, except the new releases, which is April, May, and June, and their clearance. So that's thousands of products that are 20% off, including a lot of the staples, which I'm using a lot of today. All right, Mike, can you see if the BetterPress system comes up 20% off? Yeah. So I will be doing a few different cards. I've got a lot of things prepped and ready to go. But before we start, I wanted to show you a card that I got for my birthday from my friend Barbara Barnes. It is an outstanding card with so much detail that I really wanted to show it to you because I think you'll all appreciate it. I don't know about the UK site. You'll have to try it. Or if Spellbinders is here, they can tell you.
It did work on the BetterPress.
It does work on the BetterPress. So you can get 20% off the BetterPress system, which is a great deal. Okay, so back to this card. I saw this card has so much detail to it that I wanted to share it with you. And ironically, I had just bought the die set because I couldn't find mine. I knew Spellbinders had sent it to me. I couldn't find it, so I bought it to use. I want to make a card for my accountant. She's amazing. So I wanted to make a card for her with the set, and I bought the set, and on the same day that the set arrived, I got this card from Barbara using it, and it is so, so good. All right, so let me show it to you. Okay, this is the card, Barbara Barnes. You can see this is her, to be designed, Barbara Barnes. Look at this.
Look at all the little cards on there.
Okay,
she made cards for a card.
She printed Happy Birthday to the Super Goat. She must have printed that on her computer and die cut it. But she used the Unstoppable die set from Spellbinders, which you can get on sale because this is older product. Yeah, it's not April, May, or June. But this, I was going to use this set today, but I got her card, so I just thought I'd show it instead. Look at what she did. So she used the set to make the superhero, and she added lots of details. She put a J on it. She put some gold trim on it. It comes with the crown and everything else and these fun boots and all that. Then she put her on a cloud with miniature cards on it. See all these miniature cards?
She's in the chat.
Barbara's here?
Yeah, I saw her.
Barbara Barnes is? Mm-hmm. Barbara, are you here? I should have asked you first before I showed this. Barbara, I love this card. I've got to frame this sucker. Look at all the details. This is like a fun fold card right here. And then she did the stitching in the background. Brienne just put a link to Barbara's account on Instagram. Then the background, she said, hi, Barbara, I love this. In the background, she used some like envelope stencils. I believe those are from Spellbinders too. But look at that. Talk about personalizing. Look at the mini cards. I just think it's fantastic, and I wanted to show you. But she used this die set. It's called Unstoppable, and I'm going to make one for my accountant and I'm going to put, inspired by her, I'm going to put little like papers with numbers on it and stuff. And my accountant has shorter hair, so I'll just give her a little haircut. I just think it's brilliant. So I thought I'd show this to you. Isn't it amazing? I mean, she nailed it. She nailed it. It's just gorgeous. So I wanted to start out by showing it. I was thinking about using this today, but when I saw this, I thought instead I'd show this and then use some other products, because the more products shown, the more ideas you can get and so on. The discount code works. You can't use it on clearance items. So if it says clearance on the image, it won't work for that, because those are already marked down so much. All right. But if you're questioning if something is included, put it in your cart and see what happens. I think that's your best bet, is to just put it in your cart and see if it's, gives you that discount. Okay. Next up, I just want to tell you some of the things that I think you should consider if you are placing an order. Just staples, which you've seen me use in every video that I do. First of all, craft stacks. You can get 20% off the craft stacks. Oh, the Unstoppable dies, Brienne just put a link in the chat for that. And then it's also in the supply list below. But these are the craft stacks. So this is the large size, this is the medium. You can stack 2 mediums on top of a large. They stack with or without the lids on top. Honestly, I don't put the lids on top unless I'm moving it around or storing it. When I create, I don't even use the lids. Sometimes I do use the lids to hold things, because there's a little ledge on the top. So you can stack them with or without the lids. Every single time I craft, I use these. So all the cards that I've prepped today, they're all divided in containers. I swear by these. I've bought so many of these that I won't admit. And I use them for non-crafty things too. They're just really handy to have. So I just wanted to let you know, because anytime they go on sale is when I buy them. It's always good to get them on sale. Yeah, if you like to do a lot of die cutting, it's great. I will say the smaller size fits an A2 card. That's an A2 card there. So you can see there's wiggle room. And this will hold like a half sheet with wiggle room too. They also have, I use the lids often as additional trays. In fact, you'll see me doing that here in a moment. They also have like a magnetic sheets that fit just right inside of it. Let me see if I can grab one here. They have rubber bands, they have a foam pad. They've got all kinds of things that fit in it. But see how this is a magnetic sheet that you can put, it's thick. And you can put it in and there's this little lip. So if you're working on die cuts, you can keep the dies stuck in there. They're just really fantastic. And I'm letting you know because it's a good time if you are looking to get more, if you've never tried them. I think they're great. Another thing that you see me use every time I craft is their spray bottles. I have one for alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and one for water. I use these all the time, so that's 20% off. They're big fluffy brushes, which I'll be using today. They're great for backgrounds and soft inking. These are 20% off. Their best ever craft tape, which is the yellow tape, that's 20% off. Their cardstock is 20% off. I heard that some of them are out of stock, but a lot of the colors are available. And I've shown their cardstocks many times in the past. The thing that I like about their cardstocks, it's very heavyweight. And it's super smooth. So they designed it to be heavyweight and smooth so that it works really well with like the Glimmer machine and blending also. So if you've never tried their cardstock, maybe there's like a variety pack or something that you can try. I'll be using some today, I'm sure. All right. What else? Oh, the BetterPress system, which I'll be showing you, that you can use your 20% off on your foils, things like that. So, let me think about what else from Spellbinders that I use a lot. I'm sure the scissors. My babies. I love these scissors. Lila's over there shaking her head. She is nodding her head up and down because she uses them a lot too. So just wanted to let you know those things as you're considering. But listen, I'm going to be using a variety of things today. So, you know, a lot of what I show you today can be used with products you have on hand. Now, what I wanted to use today were a couple lines from Yana. One is her Daisy line, and one is her Daffodils and Tulips line. They're all kind of divvied up here in my little trays, ready to go. But let me just kind of show you. I will show you a closer look at them all as we go. But the Daisy line is older, and it creates really cool backgrounds. These are press plates, and they're like I have stencils that go with this, and I'm going to show you all of that. The Tulips and Daffodils line, all of these products you can buy separately, but if you get the bundle that has the Tulips and Daffodils and this windmill one and the stencils and everything, you actually get a free tulip die set with it, which is this. So all of the options for what you can get together or separately are in the YouTube description below. But we have the Daisies collection and the Daffodil and Tulips collection. And those are linked below. I'm going to use different elements from these things. Some of them have stencils, and I'm going to show you lots of techniques and make cards, okay? So I think what I'm going to start with is showing you using a few different press plates. There's one here. Showing you different ways to use them, and we'll then apply that into cards, okay? I know that these lines were incredibly popular when they came out. So I'm guessing a lot of you already have these products, which is even better because you're going to learn new things today. Yes, the 20% off is on Spellbinders products only on their website. Mike, can you add that into the description?
Yeah.
That it's Spellbinders products only. Okay, so I think I'll start with this one. This one is called, you can see it's very well loved. Let me pull it up. This is called the Daisy. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, here we go. I have it linked under. If you go to the Yana's Daisy collection, a few different Daisy products will pop up. The first is this, one of them is the Daisy Shower Press Plate, okay? It's a Daisy Shower Press Plate. It's lots of daisies. And what's neat about these, a lot of these press plates from Yana, is that the background is what will give you the color, not the daisies. So the daisies will end up white if you use white cardstock, and the background will have the color. Can you scroll it a little, Mike?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Doing,
Can you use the press plates to foil on heat-resistant acetate? Yes. So let me go ahead and start by saying press plates like this are designed to work with a BetterPress system, which I'm going to demonstrate. However, in addition to using it first with a BetterPress system, you can also foil with it with the Glimmer machine. You can also make an impression with any die cut machine, and you can actually stamp with it, okay? So I'm going to show you all of those things using different press plates today, all right? So let's start with, let's do the BetterPress first, because that's what really these were designed to do, right? I think I'll start with the windmill. Okay, let me show you. This is the BetterPress system. I highly recommend this. I've done many videos using it. It's 20% off right now. This system will give you it'll give you very crisp results in comparison to a stamp. You can get details with these images that you can't with a stamp, and it's more foolproof. You know, you don't have to like ink it up a million times to get it just right. Yeah, I need to buy some of the greenery. I need to buy some. Can you scroll it, Mike? Okay. Now, this is the BetterPress system. You put your press plate on here. You really are only supposed to use press plates with the BetterPress system. And as you know, there are foil plates that companies have. Most companies are doing away with foil plates and instead just having press plates, because press plates can be used on this or to foil with your Glimmer. Okay, so yes, I agree. Lan said, hi Lan, press plates are so universal use, best investment for the versatility. Absolutely. So you're gonna see that you can get a really crisp look with this. This is the Tulips and Windmill from Yana, and I'm gonna show you a technique with this later if we have time. And Christy asked, can you use the BetterPress system with your Gina K Intracut? Absolutely. I have done a video on all about the Intracut, and in it I show you what settings to use for the BetterPress and for the Glimmer machine, okay? So there is a specialty cardstock that works best with the BetterPress system. It is Spellbinders BetterPress cotton cardstock panels. This is a thick cotton cardstock that Spellbinders found works best with press plates in the BetterPress system because it's a soft paper. So you get like a faux letterpress look where it looks like there's an impression wherever you ink, like wherever you do the image. I don't always use this. I just use regular cardstock a lot because I don't really care as much about the impression. I care about how crisp the results are. So what I'll do here is, this is just regular white cardstock. Nina Classic Crest Solar White, regular cardstock. I'm gonna take my cardstock, and this is the top panel for the BetterPress. I'm gonna put it right, I put a little temporary glue on the back, and I'll put it right into the inside tick marks. I know that if this plate is on these inside tick marks, and my cardstock's on the inside tick marks, it'll line up. So as far as what inks you can ink with, I have used pretty much every ink. Every ink. They do have, Spellbinders does have a BetterPress ink line that I don't use very often. Because it's just one more line that I've had to keep up with, and I have so many colors of other inks, I just use those. So what I'm gonna use here is Altenew Obsidian Black Pigment Ink. This is what I use for a lot of stamping, but you could use Hero Arts inks, you could use Altenew, you could use Concord and Ninth, you could use whatever inks you have. I will say, for color ink pads, I find that Altenew's ink is a little more viscous and it works really well with this, all right? Mike, can you make sure there's a link in the supply list for the big scissors? They're called shears in the supply list, yeah, 9-inch shears. It's there. Okay, so when you ink it up, you just kind of do little taps and swirls.
Yeah, they're there, sorry.
Okay. Taps and swirls if you're using a dye ink. I'm using a pigment ink, so I'm just tapping, okay? I will show you how to use a dye ink with this in a moment. All you do now is put this paper side down onto it, and it's kind of floating above it. And what happens is you'll put it through your die cut machine. You can use your Intracut, you can use your Big Shot machine, or you can use your Platinum. And it's floating there. I don't know if you can see, it's like just floating above it, right? When you put in the magnets, hold that on. So that's it. Now what you'll do is run this through and it'll push it together and puts that pressure on it, which will leave a little impression, but it'll leave a really crisp result. I will show you about keeping my press platform clean in a moment. And look at this. It is foolproof. I don't have to do it a million times. I could run it through again if I didn't ink well. But do you see how crisp and detailed that image is? There's a little impression. You can probably hear my fingernail running over the little impressions. But look at how crisp that is. You don't get that with a stamp. You just don't. I just find it, yeah, people are saying it's the best tool. I agree. So this was on regular cardstock, and it gives you this good. So I use it on colored cardstock. I use it on everything. Some folks asked about how I keep my platform clean. I have a little cheat method here. I took some really thin plastic that like a stencil set came in, like super thin plastic, and I cut it down and I just taped it on to the surface. You want it to be super thin. You could also use press and seal, but that covers it, and that way if I get ink on here, like say I accidentally get some ink on there, I can easily just wipe it away with a cloth or a baby wipe. Whereas if I got it onto the gray of the BetterPress system, it's a little trickier to clean. This just wipes right off. So I put on a new clear piece, I don't know, every few months, but this one's been on here for a while. I find that is a great way to really make it easy to clean here. Okay, but you want to make sure that's really thin. I wouldn't put like a thicker piece of acetate or anything on there. Okay, so that is the BetterPress system. There are so many fun techniques and things you can do with it. I'm going to demo some more things as we go, but for now, I wanted to just show that. Let me also show, I'll go ahead and do this right now too. This one is called the Daisy Trio. This is a press plate from Yana and Spellbinders. So all of this is 20% off, everything I've used. This one, see, the background is what you'll get the color. Now let me show you how well this works. Got another piece of white cardstock. I'll put onto the clear plate. Hi, Libby. I'm going to use Altenew Azurite. It's a great darkish blue that I love a lot, vibrant blue. So this is what I like to do if I'm using a felt ink pad or a dye ink pad. I do prefer, you can use foam ink pads to ink these, but it's a little trickier because you don't want to get it into the deeper parts. You just want on the raised areas, and that's easier with the firm felt pad. But Altenew, Hero Arts, Pink Fresh, all of those would work well. So this is how I ink up with a dye ink. I just kind of do this little twisty to make sure I get a lot of ink down. All right. I have done this with many different companies' inks, and they all have worked just fine. Now I just cleaned this with a cleaner. I'm hoping I got enough of the residue of the cleaner off. But I'm just going to ink this up, like do little twisties and tapping to get as much ink down as you can. And then you can also kind of do this back and forth kind of thing to smooth it out. But really this is very forgiving, okay? I'm not going to try to get it perfect because I want to show you how to fix it if it's not perfect. But I'm going to get some ink, a good amount of ink down, okay? Now, I just pop this on top. See, it's not perfectly inked, but I'm going to show you how to fix it if that happens. You just pop it on top, run it through. There's no heat to this. It's just applying pressure. Let's see what we got. Perfect. So I hadn't inked it up well, and it still gives great results. You'll see it looks like there's a splotch here. Remember, dye inks will smooth and soften. This will be perfectly solid. You would never have gotten that result if you saw how it was inked up pretty poorly, right? If that was a stamp, it would never have stamped like that. I mean, that's just incredible. So you can use whatever inks you have and whatever cardstock you have. All right. I agree, they're well worth it. So I probably am going to use this later. I will say, say you ink it up and you didn't do a good job. Just say you didn't do a good job. You can carefully re-ink it if you don't let the plate move. You want it to stay in the same place. So I'm just going to put more ink down just to show you can do this. I didn't need to because it really is quite forgiving. But say you want to make it darker or something, just make sure that you don't, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was a magnet. There we go. It worked fine. That you don't let it move. Let me get a little more down here. Okay, now I'll put it on top. And hopefully if I didn't shift it when I was inking it, I'll get impression in the same spot. So say you wanted to ink another layer, you could. I just usually don't, I didn't need to, but I did it anyways, just to demonstrate. And look how perfect that is. Look how crisp. All right. So that is the BetterPress system, and I'm going to show some things with it. We're going to make cards with this too, of course. I will come back and do the stencils that coordinate with this. Okay. Stencils that coordinate with it, I will do in a little bit. Let me just clean this off real quick. So that's the BetterPress, and you could use that with any of the plates that I'm using today. I will show you. This is the one. Whoop. Come on. Got a hook under here. So this is the Daisy Trio. This is the Tulips and Windmill. One other one that I think I probably already have done, like this one here. This is the Big Mama Daisy Shower Press Plate, which is big, so you can use it on 5x7. This is, I did black ink, okay, in the BetterPress. Yes, I'm going to show you the Glimmer machine in just a moment. All right, so you can see the detail that you get. And I love this because I did black ink with it, and now I can add color to that, which I will show you. Yeah, Yana's really good. She's incredible. All right, so far, that's the BetterPress. Now, I'm going to show you with the Glimmer machine next, but do know the second two ways I show you don't require a special system. But I know a lot of you have the Glimmer machine, so I want to demonstrate with it. All right, so I have the Glimmer machine. This is from Spellbinders. This is different than Gina's Fuse machine. I absolutely love Gina's Fuse machine. It's a different type of foil. It's just a different, it's like cats and dogs, you know. They're both animals, but they're different. And I like both for different reasons. You've seen me use the Fuse many times. That you use foil meant to use with toner. The Glimmer machine is meant to use a plate. If you have old foil plates, those work here. But what's great is press plates work on the foil machine, the Glimmer foil machine, even better than foil plates do. That's why a lot of companies are getting rid of foil plates and just coming out with press plates because they can be used for both. Okay, so this is the Glimmer machine. Spellbinders is actually out of stock on it, but I did notice, and I have it linked in the YouTube description below, that scrapbook.com has the Glimmer machine in stock, and they have 13% off right now. So that is in the description below if you don't have a Glimmer and you're interested. All right, this is the Daisy Shower Press Plate, and it is a little bigger than 5x7. So I'm going to put that onto this hot. This is really, really hot. I'm going to put it onto this hot. I've warmed up my machine, and I just place it on there. All right. Now, as for foil, there's lots of foils that Spellbinders has. A lot of great foils. I will show you my favorites once I get this on here. So I use my shears because they're great for cutting that. And this is their, I believe it's the Aura color. I like it because it's gold iridescent shine. But they have lots of different versions. They have matte, whatever. A question just went by and I forget what it was. What did it say? Oh, yes, you can use Versamark with your press plates in the BetterPress. Yep, you can use Versamark, and you can even heat emboss it then. And I've done that in videos in the past. Okay, now I will take some cardstock. You just want to use smooth cardstock. You could use any of the Spellbinders colored cardstocks because they're smooth. For white, I have some of that Hammermill cardstock, which I have linked in my YouTube description below, because it's super smooth and I find it foils wonderfully. So I put the foil pretty side down onto the plate. Okay, so the gold side's down. I'll put my white cardstock on top. And then there are two plates that come with the Glimmer machine. I'm going to put those on top plus a cardstock shim. I don't know, for some reason I feel like I need that cardstock shim in there. I don't know that everybody does. It probably depends on your die cut machine. And I'll put that on top. Once I have that all together, I hit the timer button. Now, different people do different steps with this. I know Yana sets hers like, she doesn't put the top plates on until this stops flashing. I find you can do both ways. This is just what I've always done. So this is the Glimmer machine, and I will say that the Glimmer machine is a little trickier sometimes than the BetterPress. The BetterPress is flawless. This can sometimes be tricky, but I found that if you use certain foils, they really work wonderfully. I don't know why, I just find that. And also make sure your machine is very hot, and I always let the timer go a little longer. So I push the timer button when it stops flashing, it's ready, but I usually go a little longer. So the ones that I like are, what are these foils called? Aura and Prism. These have that iridescent look to them. I like that. If it's too shiny for you, they have regular silver and gold. They even have matte gold. That one also foils lovely. And then there's black. It comes in a pack with white and black, and the white looks really cool on colors. It's not completely opaque, but it gives you like a soft white foil that's beautiful. But these are the ones I got out for today, and I'm going to show you some samples with that. But right now I'm using the Aura Gold. The timer stopped flashing, that means it's done, but I'm going to give it a little bit longer. What is the difference in the Glimmer machine and a machine that foils? So this is the Glimmer machine. You use plates and this special type of foil with it, and you can make as many as you want, right? The Fuse machine, you need to have toner printed paper that you put a different type of foil on and run it through. I've done videos on both. You could watch both and get a comparison, but they really are two very different animals, but they both give beautiful shine. And I like both. I truly do. It's kind of like stamping and die cutting. I like both. Yeah, the opal is really pretty too. Okay, so I let this go a little extra long. And what you do is you take your die cut machine, and I'm gonna pop out with this handle. I'll pop it all out. And then I take it right over to my die cut machine and I put it through. And then I like to go back too. I don't think you have to. But what happens is the Glimmer machine gives it heat and the die cut machine gives it pressure to give you a nice foil. Now I'm hoping this foils well. Remember I said sometimes foil plates can be finicky, especially because I just used ink on this foil plate. So I'm hoping I removed enough of it that it foiled okay, but we will see. All right, so this is what we got. I'm gonna give it a second to cool before I peel it off. Let's give it a second. Okay, now watch this. Beautiful. Do you see that shine in the detail? So BetterPress plates are great because how they make them, you can get that fine detail on the BetterPress and the fine detail here with the foiling. So look at that shine. Now that iridescent thing, I like it. But you could use plain gold if you want to. Let me show you a few different versions I had that I made. Let's see, this is with the black foil. Same plate, same process, but I used black foil. And so the white is just regular white cardstock showing through, but the black is shiny because I used the black foil. Okay? Here is the silver prism. Okay? So just different looks. So you can use any of the Glimmer foils with this. Now, I do want to show you, by the way, I use a magnet to pick these up so that I don't have to touch the hot plates. But I do want to show you this. This is the essential, Mike, is this in the supply list? Oh, please tell me I put it in there. Dang it. Let me see, hold on. Mike, you're gonna have to add it.
What is it?
Hold on guys, I gotta find this. It is the essential, I'm adding it to the top of the supply list. Can you add it, change the name and add it to the YouTube description? Mike's gonna add this. This is the Essential Glimmer Solid Rectangle foil plate. So this is an older product. This is actually a foil plate, but it works the same way I just showed you. And they also have other shapes, okay? They have oval, square, and circle. I'm using the rectangle one, okay? So this is solid. So if I were to put foil on this and cardstock and run it through like I just did, you would get a solid rectangle of foil. But you can also use it with the negative. So this is the negative that just came off of what we did, right? It's leftover. So normally you would probably throw that in the trash. Instead, you can use this. Yeah, so I'm using the negative now. One thing you could do is like glue this, like lay this down, put like a window over it and, you know, use this as is. But this is what I like to do. So there's this solid rectangle foil plate. Out of the way. You take your leftover foil plate, or foil, put it face down onto that. I think I want to do like that. Face down, pretty side down, cardstock on top, and then your plates and your cardstock shim, and you push the button. Okay, so now we're going to use that negative space. All right, I'm going to show you what that looks like once that's done. But while it's warming up, here we go. The two pieces I got from this. So this is the silver foil. This is what I got with the leftover foil, which you're about to see. So you get both. Here's the black foil, and here's what I did with the leftover foil piece. So you get the reverse. All right, it works really well. You just need a solid plate, and that's included in the sale. Here is the Tulips and Windmill foiled. Look how detailed that is. It's beautiful. Okay, I did that, and then I used that same rectangle to get the reverse image. Look how cool that is. I just think that's gorgeous. So getting the solid plate is always better. Yeah, the reverse is really cool. Getting a solid plate is always better because you can use that leftover. It's a twofer, yep. All right, so I'm hoping I gave this enough time. I'm not sure if I did, but I usually like to go a little longer, but I want to move on to the other ideas too. So I'm going to take this off, run it through. I like to go in both directions. And let's see. Okay. Let that cool for a minute. And then here we go. Look at that. Do you see the detail? So over this, I would just do ink blending. I think that would be beautiful. So you can trim that down and add it onto a card panel. So I was able to, I could have used the rectangle in two directions and gotten two out of this, but I didn't do that. But it allows you to get more from your plates. So there's the positive and the negative. Isn't that fun? Spellbinders does not have a larger plate, but Pink Fresh Studios has a larger plate. So you can always check out theirs too. All right, I kind of like this because I'm going to cut this down so that there's like a nice white trim around the edge. But you know, you could do whatever. Okay, so that's how you can use press plates on your foil machine. And I will tell you that I find that press plates foil better than the old foil plates that came out before. It's a lot more forgiving. Yes, if you want a full-size solid plate, look at Pink Fresh. All right. Yeah, I think Spellbinders is coming out with some more solids soon, so just stay tuned for that, okay? So that is the Glimmer. I'm gonna unplug this because I don't like this heat around me. Hot flashes are enough. Okay. Now, so that is some foiling. So far we've used press plates with the BetterPress system and with the foil machine. Now let's do one of my favorites, which is to make an impression, a deep impression, using your die cut machine, okay? So for this, I think I will demo again with this one. And then in a bit, I'm gonna make another card with this technique using another plate. I just wanna do the demos first, and then we're gonna make cards. All right, so next up, this is making impression with a press plate. For this, you need a die cut machine, all right? You need a die cut machine. This, and all die cut machines either come with or have available a flexible mat that's called an embossing mat. This allows you to dry emboss or make an impression with a die, which I've done many times in videos. Now you can do an impression with a press plate. Okay, so what I'll do is, let's do a quick example of this. I'm going to use watercolor paper. Okay, so what we're going to do is make an impression with this plate. And I find that you could use regular cardstock, but I find sometimes a softer cardstock, like the BetterPress cotton cardstock or the watercolor paper, makes a better impression. So I'm using watercolor paper, but you could use regular cardstock here, okay? I have set up my die cut machine to do embossing. So it's not heat embossing, it's regular embossing. It says how to emboss a cut shape. So I follow this sandwich, but instead of using a die to make my impression, I use a press plate. Now I know I'm going through all this quickly, but I can tell you can go back and watch this again. I just wanted to quickly review all these, and I have a playlist of all the ways you can use press plates, and I go deep diving into all these techniques in those, and I bet money that Brianne would put the press plate playlist in the chat. All right, so this is just watercolor paper. You could use regular cardstock. I have my embossing mat here, this flexible mat, and I'm gonna lay my cardstock onto it. Now I've got this press plate, and I'm gonna grab some ink. Let's see what color I want. I'm gonna do a lighter color. I'm gonna do Caribbean Sky from Altenew. You could use whatever inks you want. Just like I did on the BetterPress system, when I inked up, I kind of go, this is a pretty dry ink pad. I probably should have picked another one. But I kind of drag my ink pad around and do a little twisty. You can use a brayer, but I think that just complicates things. So I'm just inking this up. I'm not doing a whole lot here, just inking it up, okay? Good enough. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drop it down onto that watercolor paper, and don't shift it. Once it's down, it's down. I'm gonna put the top plate on and run this through. And what will happen is, because there's a flexible mat underneath that paper and that plate, the plate is gonna be able to get really pressed into that paper, and it'll leave that ink behind. So look at this. So you get a deep impression, right? And you get the color left behind. So that's beautiful. Now, this will smooth out as it dries. And let me show you an example I did earlier. This one. This was actually on regular cardstock. I'll do it again, but look at that. It's the same thing. I just inked it up and ran it through. So let me do that on regular. This is just hammer mill. Let me do it again. And I'm gonna use an inkier ink pad. I wonder what I used that time. I wonder what I used. Maybe I used corn flour. This is Hero Arts corn flour. Maybe that's what I used. No, I don't know what I used last time. Let's just put some ink down. Put my cardstock down. This is just hammer mill white cardstock, nothing fancy. Let's just put ink down. I'm gonna go like this, so it's kind of like lighter. No. Yeah, the Glimmer machine is fun. It's fun. And then, if you get a press plate, look at all the ways you can use it. I know that we're always looking for more ways to use our products so that we get more out of it, right? Yes, you want to get miles on your products. You are correct. Okay, so I'm going to run this through, and this is going to make an impression and leave that blue ink behind. And this is just demoing again, but this is with regular cardstock. Look at that. Now, I didn't ink it clean. I'll just cut from the center, but see how you get an impression with it. Okay? Now, if you have a press plate like this one here, this is the Tulip one. So there's more detail to it and more open space between. You can make this isn't a good example for it, but this is white cardstock, just regular white cardstock. You could ink this and put it down, but you can also use it to create like an embossing folder look. Now this might have ink on it still from what I've been doing. Pretend it doesn't, okay? So pretend it's clean, and I'm gonna put it down, and I'll show you the kind of texture that you can get. So if you've got like a patterned press plate, like a polka dot or stripe or like big floral or whatever, you can get a deep impression that looks kind of like an embossing folder. So look at, this is you could see the black ink was still in there. Actually looks pretty good. But see how you get, it's pillowy like an embossing folder. On the back you can kind of get an idea of how deep of an impression you get. Okay? So yeah, this is fun. If I didn't have that leftover black ink, this would all be white, like an embossing folder, but I could have inked it up with black and done it too. Yes, Shannon, yes. All right, isn't that fun? So this has got a ton of texture to it, just like an embossing folder would, okay? So that's the third way you can use a press plate. Those are my 3 favorite ways. Those are definitely my 3 favorite ways. I love this. I think that's beautiful. So beautiful. And it definitely looks better than if I tried to stamp a solid stamp like that. But just showing you some of the options. All right, next, let's look at the 4th thing you can do with press plates. Now, this is not, I will tell you, this is my least used of all the techniques, but sometimes you might want it, okay? Say you have a press plate and you got it because you want to use it with your embossing mat like I just showed you, okay? Yes, I could have inked this and done that impression and it would have left black lines behind. But say you just want to stamp it. Say you don't have a BetterPress and you just want the look of this. Okay, I don't do this often because I'd rather use the BetterPress, but if you don't have one, this is something you could do. It takes a little more work, but it is an option. So I have my Misty, and I have my mat in here, like I always do. Now we're gonna actually stamp with the Misty and this press plate. Press plate is thinner than a stamp. So you gotta put like some extra shims of cardstock in here, or what I did is I just took a few of these sticky mats from the Misty and I built it up. So I built up more, oh my gosh, more dimension in there. Hold on, I don't know where all that came from. Oh, it's from on here. Hold please, I'm making a mess. Anyway, so I built up more thickness here so that this doesn't go as deep. I'm gonna lay my press plate into the corner right there, okay? Christina would be freaking out.
You're inky.
I'm inky. I'm gonna get out a fresh piece here. I'm gonna put some cardstock, put a little bit of adhesive on the back of this cardstock, and I'll just lay it down, adhesive side up, okay, onto that press plate. Close the door, and that will hold the cardstock. So I'm doing it the opposite of before. Or the opposite of if you were stamping. If you were stamping, the cardstock would go here and the stamp would go here. But here I'm doing the press plate here and the paper here. Did I say that right? Normally a stamp goes here, paper goes here, we're doing the opposite. So I'm pretending this is a stamp, but it's not. It's not gonna give me super great results. Please keep that in mind because it's not meant to do it like this. If you want a super crisp result, where's my ink? You definitely want to use the BetterPress, but if you don't have a BetterPress and you have press plates, this is an option. Where did my ink go?
Over there.
No. Let's see, hang on, I'm looking for, oh, it's underneath my projects. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this very quickly. I'm gonna ink this up. This is that black pigment ink from Altenew. I mean, you could use whatever ink you want. This is not, again, gonna give you ideal results because this isn't what it's meant to be, but if you want to use it as a stamp, you can. Make sure it's in the corner And then I'll close this and press down onto it. And you're gonna probably have to do it a few times to transfer all the ink because I'm not doing an even amount of pressure over this. But look at, see, it starts to transfer. So you can do this a few times and you'll get what looks like a stamped image. And it'll be nice and crisp. It just won't be as perfect as if you use the BetterPress system. Hi, Simon. So here we go. So you can see how I'm getting a nice faux stamped image. So that is another option for you. So with the press plate, you can use a BetterPress system. You can use the Glimmer machine to foil. You can make an impression with that flexible embossing mat, or you could stamp with it. Okay, those are the main ways that I like to use the system. As far as how to clean your press plates, they sell a cleaner. I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I usually honestly just take it and run it under water and then dry it off with a cloth. And you know, it'll have ink still on it, but you could also use a stamp cleaner, but I think it's fine. Okay? All right. Can you also ink up the press plate doing the impression? Yes, yes. You could have inked this up and made the impression at the same time. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Okay? I'm going to show you that in a moment. But those are the 4 basic ways you can use a press plate. All right? Now, time to make some stuff here. Let me get these put away, out of the way. Not put away, just out of the way. Let's see. Let's start with that one that somebody's asking about. Let's start with using the flexible mat and a press plate, and we're going to ink it up with black. And I've prepped some stuff for this so that we can make a card. Just one moment. Okay. My throat is hurting. I don't want to be sick. I don't like being sick. Okay, let me show you. I have here, this is Tim Holtz Distress watercolor paper. You can use, as I demoed before, you can use regular cardstock. I'm just using watercolor paper because, I don't know, it's softer and it makes a nice impression. So that's why I chose to use it, okay? A cover plate, somebody asked, what's the difference between a cover plate and a press plate? A cover plate cuts your paper. This makes an impression. If you're just popping in, you want to rewind to the beginning so that you can kind of see all these things again. All right, so I have, this is the, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but I do have lots of videos showing these all separately. I just wanted to put them all together and make some cards. So this is the Tulips and Daffodils press plate from Yana, and there are stencils to color it, and we're going to use those in a moment, okay? So I have a piece of watercolor paper here. I'm going to put on my flexible embossing mat. I'm going to get this ready by putting it in my machine so it's ready to go. So my cardstock's just laying there. Let me see if I can get it more on the camera. No, I've been home from camp long enough. It wouldn't be from camp. I'm going to use black ink to ink this up, okay? So I'm just inking up the raised area. This is the Tulips and Daffodils from Yana. This was super popular, so I know some of you already have this. It's sold out for a long time. That's why I didn't use it when it came out. But it's 20% off now. Okay, so I'm going to carefully slide that off and pick it up without touching the ink. All right, now I'm going to lay this down, face down onto my watercolor paper, and once it's there, I don't move it. I can't move it because it'll mess it up. Now, put the top plate on and run it through. And what will happen is that press plate will press into the paper, leaving an impression, and it'll also leave that black ink behind. And there we go. Can you see how deep that impression is? Can you tell? Well, here, if you look at the other side, you can see that it's really pressed down, right? So I don't think you can see the impression very well, but it is beautiful. So it's almost like a stamp meets a stamp meets a embossing folder. That's kind of the feel, okay? Now, if I had done the same thing in my BetterPress system, I probably would have gotten crisper results, but not as deep of an impression. But there, you can use your press plates and your die cut machine. No, if I got sick at camp, I would have been really sick by now. I've been running a lot of errands this week. I blame errands. I blame going to Pilates. Why not? Okay, so that's beautiful, right? We're gonna use the stencils to color it, and we're going to make it into a card. What I just showed you, you can do with foil plates, but foil plates don't have as much detail as press plates, and that's one of the reasons a lot of companies are going away from them too. Okay? Okay. All right, so here's the thing. I used a black pigment ink here, so I need to heat set it before I ink it. Instead of heat setting it, I did one a few days ago, the exact same method that I'm gonna demo with now, that I'm gonna ink now, so I don't have to worry about the black. Oh, if you see those little black spots in the background, that's because my plate is really dirty. Some ink had gotten into the back parts of it. I should have cleaned it beforehand. Just scrub it with water. Like, see, there was ink in that area. That's my fault. On this one, it doesn't have that because I had cleaned it. For those little dots, you know, all you have to do is come in with a paper sander and sand off those raised areas, and the dots will go away because it's just a touch of ink. All right, but I'm gonna go with this one because it's dry. Now I gotta find my stencils. Gotta find my stencils. Just a moment. Here we go, Mike.
What's that?
I lost my stencils.
Are they over there?
Are they over there? They're over there. Okay, so here we have it. So this is the Tulips and Daffodil. There's a press plate and there are stencils. You can buy them together or separately. But if you're considering all of the tulip stuff that Yana has, get the bundle because you get a free die set with it. Okay, so this is my impression. You could have made this with foil. You could have made this in your BetterPress. You could do all the options, but I did the impression with the ink. So now we can ink this up, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the inking because I have something else I want to do with it. Doobie-doo, doo-doo-doo. Put that down like that. Now, I don't think I'm going to use that up there, but some of my cardstock's sticking out, so I'm just putting an extra piece up here to cover it. This is an alignment guide from Altenew. It just kind of masks things off. Okay, so for this one, for this stencil, I will use, let's do Butter Bar. This is a Hero Arts ink that I've used for many years. You could use absolutely any inks that you want. Now remember, I did mine on watercolor paper just so I got a nice pillowy impression, but I could have done this on regular cardstock. In fact, I'll show you this. This one was done on hammer mill, and you can see you got that pillowy look still. So you definitely, I could use regular cardstock, but just to show you some different options. So this is Butter Bar ink, and I'm just gonna do like a Butter Bar heavy towards the center, fading to white at the tips. You could get really creative with this, but I'm not really feeling it. Like actually I'm gonna do this all light. These are like the darker petals, so I'm gonna go a little heavier handed with the Butter Bar, and I'm gonna come in with some orange. Just a little bit of orange, not much. Let's go Papaya, which is a great color from Hero Arts. Now because I demoed all those things, I know I'm not gonna get through all my ideas, so I'm gonna have to do more later. All right, so there we go. There's some papaya on there. So let's remove all this. I'm glad you're here. I'm a little rusty. Let's just say that. It's been a while. Now, I'm doing these stencils out of order, but it doesn't matter. Very easy to line up. I'll line these up here. This is for the center, which I'm gonna do that orange. I'm gonna use These are the Simon Hurley small brushes. I love these. I love them. They're fantastic. Is Simon still here? Tell him that we like his brushes. We'll do papaya on this. A little lighter towards the tip. But I think I'm not going to add another color in there. That's good. That's stencil number 2. Or, I don't know what stencil that was. Now this does the petals. And I will tell you, I recommend going over to the Spellbinders website because you can see lots of examples on the product page and you can see examples made by Yana. She did some that were really soft. I'm going bold here. You'll see in a moment it's going to be bold. But you definitely could do a soft look with this and it would just be absolutely gorgeous. Now these petals, I'm going to go lighter. So I'm doing the butter bar fading to white. These are pretty easy to color. Yeah, I'm glad. Okay, so somebody asked about the bristles on the Simon Hurley brushes. You know what they remind me of? Is just a bigger version of these Altenew ones. So yeah, but they feel like they perform the same, but this is bigger. And I like different size. For me, the sizes, it's good to have different size options. All right, there's that. Look at those daffodils. Oh, I was gonna make that the tulips blue. I forgot. Oh well. Everything's gonna be yellow. I shouldn't have done that. Dog. Darn. I meant to make them blue with my final card design, but it's okay. It'd be really pretty if you made those tulips a blue color with what I'm doing here, but it's how it goes. Okay, so for this, I will use green apple and fresh lawn and forever green. These are Hero Arts colors. This is green apple first. Do that over all of this. Again, going heavier in some areas and lighter in others. You could go to town with different types of blending on this. I'm just not today. I'm just not. I will come in with some fresh lawn, which is a bit darker, and put some shading here and there with it, just to get a little variety. That's good enough. Good enough-ish. Not perfect, but that's okay. And then finally, the last stencil. This one I think I'll do darker. So I will go with Fresh Lawn from the start, which is a great like Christmas green color. I'll do that over all of it. And you can see this is working well even though I use watercolor paper, which really isn't ideal for blending. It doesn't really matter. And then Forever Green, which is really dark, and I'll put that shading here and there, just for some interest. And remember, there is texture on this too. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? Now, I thought I would do something fun with this. I really am loving the solid, bold color backgrounds that the other press plates have. This isn't one of those. This is an outline press plate, which is fine, but I wanted that look, and I'm going to show you how I do it. And you're going to have to be patient with me, but I can answer questions while I do it. And then we'll find something to make with it. Okay? I have an Olo marker here. And the only reason I'm using Olo is because I have them. You could use any kind of marker for this, really. I do find alcohol markers will give you smoother results. You won't get those lines, like the scribble lines. But I am, you could use Copic marker, whatever you have. I'm going to color the background with this bold cobalt kind of blue. And it takes a little bit of time, but for me, this is the kind of coloring I can do, right? I don't have to try to shade. You could if you wanted to, but I'm just trying to stay outside of the lines. And this will give me a bold background. And I don't have to really do it all because I'm gonna put an oval window over it here in a minute, but I think it gives a really cool result. And again, the reason I'm using an alcohol marker, these are Olo markers, is because you don't get the scribble lines that you would if you had some other markers. But you could use whatever markers you have. All right, so I think I saw somebody say, what is the difference in the result of using the BetterPress with the press plate and using the flexible mat with the press plate. You can get similar results. However, the press plate will always give you, the press plate in the BetterPress will always give you crisper, like foolproof results. Doing it with the embossing mat is kind of like a hack, and I don't know, you have to be more careful where you place it and you don't shift it. And if there's extra ink in the background, like I had on my tulip one, that might transfer. That's one difference. But listen, if you can't afford to get a BetterPress system, you can do that method.
Can I answer yes or no on this question?
Another difference is you're going to get a deeper impression with the embossing mat than you will the BetterPress. It's just a difference. That's why I like doing both. What's the question?
This one, can I say yes or no?
Sure, you can say no.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody was asking about the Altenew products. I had done some fish products before I left, and I said I was going to come back and do more. I still plan to. They had just sold out of that bundle, and I needed to wait until it's back in stock, because nothing makes people more mad than something being out of stock. So I will come back to that sometime. All right. What are some other questions?
All right.
While I color, we're going to answer some more questions. I'm not going to do this like perfectly, but I think it's worth it. It doesn't take too long. Lila would like doing this. She likes little detail things like this. Like, what questions you got? Just read them to me, because
Can you buy replacements for the plastic cover where you tape your paper? I accidentally cracked mine.
Yes, the BetterPress, you can buy a replacement clear platform if you need to. In fact, I bought one so that I could have, like, do multiples of things. So yes, yep, you can get replacements. Can the press plate be used to foil on acetate? Absolutely. You need heat-resistant acetate. I think Spellbinders even sells foilable, if that's such a word, acetate. Oops, I got into my... It's okay. You won't tell anyone. I think Spellbinders sells acetate that's meant for foiling, but I have had success foiling on acetate and on vellum with heat-resistant acetate. I will say sometimes it can be moody. Foil can be moody. So you might have to practice with shims and what plates work and stuff. But yes, it's absolutely beautiful. I've done both foiling on acetate and on vellum in previous videos that I've done in the past. I don't usually do foiling live because you have to have it hot, and I tend to talk too much, but today was an exception. I'm really doing a terrible job staying inside of the lines. Best microbrush recommendation. Okay. It depends on how small you want to get. I like Gina K's small brushes. I'll get them out here in a moment and I'll show you. And then I also don't have my glasses on, so I have a lot working against me here. These are Gina K's. I like that size.
Here, right?
Who? Oh, Yana's here. Hi, Yana. These are micro brushes from Altenew, and I like those too. The two sizes come in a pack. So those are the small brushes that I like. I like these, all of the brushes I just showed you, because they have short bristles. I don't work well with long bristled fine tip or micro brushes. All right. Yana's here. Yana has so many. If you go to her YouTube channel, she has so many examples using all these products. I'm late to the game to play with them, but I think it'll be fun. Another question, Mike?
Yes.
I'm trying to hurry.
What would happen if you use 2 cutting plates with the press plates if you don't have a BetterPress?
You need
What happened to those 2 cutting plates?
Two-
I know what you mean. Okay.
2 cutting plates instead of the BetterPress system. The BetterPress system is designed to do that technique. I wouldn't try anything else. I don't want you breaking your machine. So, you know, the BetterPress system is divine. I love it. A lot of companies have press plates and more are coming out with them. So for me, it's a good investment, but you can always do some of the other techniques I showed you with press plates if you don't have the BetterPress system. But you can get 20% off this system right now using my discount code. All right. I'm doing my best here with, you know. Are more questions? I'm almost done.
Would the BetterPress system work with Gemini?
No, Gemini is one of the only machines that okay, let me try that again. Most electric machines have different thicknesses that can go through, and I know that the Gemini and Anna Griffin Empress don't work with the Glimmer machine or the BetterPress. It just doesn't work. I know that stinks. That's why I also have manual machines that those systems will work with. So yeah, that's the bummer about it. And Spellbinders doesn't have a electric machine, but the Intricate and the Spellbinders Platinum are the two machines that I have that will work with these systems, and it works really well. So I just use those. The only reason I have an electric die cut machine is because I do a ton of die cutting, right? And I don't do a ton of better pressing, you know? So I don't mind using a manual for that. If I didn't die cut as much as I do, I would just use a manual machine for everything. But I do a lot. I have die cut issues because I love the look of layered die cuts. Okay, almost done here. Another question, Mike, while I finish?
Yeah.
Can you use embossing ink powder and heat? Embossing ink.
Okay, so on the press plates, yes. On the press plates, you can put like Versamark clear embossing ink on it and press that press plate into the cardstock, whatever method you want. So yes, you can, and then add embossing powder to it. But keep in mind, the nice thing about press plates is you're leaving an impression, and you're going to end up filling it with embossing powder. But you can. You can use Simon Hurley inks on these. Yep. All right, so look at what we got there. Isn't that cool? And you have the texture because I made the impression with the press plate. Isn't that neat? Who's here? Somebody's upstairs.
Yeah, somebody's here.
Is it Gran?
No.
Is it Cammy?
I didn't ask him if he wants to come in.
Is it Colin?
Yeah.
Hot diggity dog. Okay. All right.
I just saw his car, so.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to make a card. Let's make a card here.
Yeah.
Here's my prototype. I was going to do blue flowers. This is where I was practicing, but I forgot. Let's make a card. I think it'd be fun to make a window on here.
Before I eat them all.
Let's see. I'm thinking a window on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, hold on.
Here. Keep it on.
Okay, I'll have to come back to some of those questions. Oh, I'm not on top of it enough. Now, instead of die cutting this, I'm going to put a cardstock panel over it that has a die cut window, so it's kind of set back. I think I'll do an A6 card. I like doing different size cards. This is A6. Wait, this isn't A6. This is 5x7. Hold, please. I think this is A6, yeah. So A6, A6 is one of my favorite sizes. It's a little bit bigger than A2. So this is 4.5 by 6 1/4. This is A2, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5. So it's a little bit bigger. And I love that little change. So I think I will put this on there and then have a window showing through. And I'm thinking, I wonder if there's a Spellbinders cardstock that would look nice with this. I forgot to eat lunch. No wonder I don't feel great. That was dumb. I could use Cosmic Sky. Or maybe I use yellow. Maybe a yellow around the edge, or maybe just white. I think I'm gonna do white. Okay, so let's get a piece of white cardstock. I'm gonna cut this to be a little bit smaller than an A6 card. So I'm gonna cut it to be 4 1/4 by 6. All right. These are the modern oval dies. I love these, but I will tell you there are 2 different oval die sets that I like from Spellbinders, and there's a difference in them. These are the modern oval, and these are the essential ovals. So these are longer and narrower. So on an A2 panel, let me show you. See how it's not really proportioned to go in the center. There's more gaps on the left and the right than there are on the top and the bottom, but you can put them off center or use as is. I use them a lot. The essential oval dies are proportioned to fit on an A2 card panel because they're chunkier, they're wider, okay? So modern is the narrow, essential is the wider. I probably use the essentials more on A2 cards, but I use the modern a lot for A6 and 5 by 7 because the proportions are better on there. So I use both. And I know that doesn't help you in deciding which maybe is right for you, but I use them all the time. I use the essential ovals a lot. All right, so I'm gonna use these 2, I think. I'll use those 2. Let me see, does that work for this? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna cut that from the center here. I have black ink everywhere. Let me move some of these out of the way. The best way to keep dies on your table from going everywhere is a magnet. And now they'll all be together. Okay, so I'm gonna use the large oval first to cut from this white panel. This white panel is 4 1/4 by 6. Maybe not. I'm gonna do the smaller of the 2 ovals. Let's do that. Yep, there we go. So the cardstock is 4 1/4 by 6 inches. So that's a little bit smaller than my A6 card. So I'm gonna put this window over my card. I thought about doing a blue, but I think I'm gonna go with it. All right, so let me put adhesive on the back of this. Glue this onto my card. It looks like a mess, but that's okay because we're gonna put that window on top. You know what, I need to cut it narrow though because I don't want it peeking out the sides. Just trim that a little narrow. Remember, this has got that great texture to it, that impression that we made. It looks like a hot mess now, but I'm hoping it'll look good when we put that on top. So let's see. Yeah, see? Isn't that pretty? Now I might do, let's do a black trim, because why not? Or should I do a gold trim? I could do gold. Let's get gold. I'm gonna get some gold cardstock. Oh, that's something that would be good to stock up on with the 20% off is the Spellbinders Treasure Cardstock Packs. This is the gold Spellbinders Treasured Cardstock Pack, and it has all of these different finishes of gold in here. There's glitter, there's mirror, there's brushed metallic. It's just beautiful. And I'm thinking one of those as a frame would be lovely. Let's do, I think I'm gonna do, oh, that's pretty. Maybe that's a little too shiny. I have to overthink it for a moment. I think I'm gonna go with the matte metallic, okay? These come in different colors. There's silver, there's black, there's gold, there's blue, there's white. There's a bunch of different ones. I'm gonna use the gold here. Yeah, ovals, I agree. Ovals elevate a card. I feel like it's a wonderful alternative to rectangles. It just makes it so much better. Okay. So I'm just cutting that down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 just because, oh, maybe that's too small. Yeah, that's too small. Okay. So I'm taking the biggest oval. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. The biggest oval die and the smaller oval I used here is the one that I used to cut the window. And so I'm teaming it up with a slightly bigger die, oval. And I'm putting them together and then I'll run it through my die cut machine. And that'll give me a thin gold frame to go around our window. So I'll run that through. And this will give us a thin frame. There are a million other ways I could have done that, but this seemed to work easiest at the moment. Okay. Arch dies are good too. Arch dies are always good too. But I reach for ovals more. I really do. I do. Okay, gotta get that off my plate. Yeah, it wouldn't be Jennifer without a little overthinking. See? Come on. Look at that. Okay. So I'll save those scraps for another one. Let me put some glue on the back of this. Goody, I left my glue lid off, so that means it's going to be clogged, because if I don't put my lid on, it gets clogged. It is a beautiful matte gold. I like that variety pack because sometimes you want a little more shine, sometimes you want glitter, and that glitter doesn't rub off and it all die cuts beautifully. The white pack I think is probably my favorite. But the gold and silver are nice too. The black's nice also. So I'm going to glue this right onto here. There are a few other ways I could have done that, but this worked really well. So I'll put that down, okay? And then I'll put some foam tape around it. This is Altenew foam tape. I really like their foam tape. This is the thicker version, which you don't have to use. You could use the thinner if you wanted to, but I wanted that depth. But I also want to make sure that when you have it down, you don't see the gap of blue. Excuse my head. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Spellbinders, here's oh, by the way, the dies that I showed you, the ovals I showed you, those were just a few of them. They have all the sizes, they all nest together, so there's many dies in the set. I have my oval dies stuck on magnets in my cabinet door, so I just grabbed some of them. All right. If you were using a background plus plate, what color blue ink would you use to get this? The azurite that I used before, that I demoed with. Get off my fingers. See? This is the azurite from Altenew. I was able to do the background very quickly because it was a reverse background plate. This one wasn't. That's why I had to use the marker. Now, I like to put liquid glue on my foam tape and smear it around so I get some wiggle room time before I commit. I have commitment issues, I guess. That way you can move it around and get it centered just right. So I spread that around. My head's going to get in the way because I got to look from above. We're going to have a nice trim. You know what I could have done, and I probably could go do now even? I could go with the blue marker and color my note card so it has a blue trim. I could do it, but I don't want to take the time. So see how it's got that nice, I could have made that a shaker window, in fact. All right, look at that texture. So now all this needs is a sentiment. I don't know what sentiment I'm going to do yet. I don't know. I do have some prepped. These are, I need something bigger. Maybe I don't. Hold on. I have all these ready. These might look nice. Mike, can you add the essential sentiments from Spellbinders onto the list? I don't know when these came out, so I don't know if they're 20% off. Maybe you could figure that out too. Let's see. So these are the essential dies from Spellbinders. I think I'm going to look for, there's With Sympathy, Thinking of You.
Which one?
There's a bunch of, just link to the whole category. I have all these die cut already, but I can't, I'm gonna have to find I got these all mixed up because I didn't separate them. Here we go. So I could do this, the Thinking of You, and I'd probably put it right in the center. Yeah, I think I'd put it right in the center. But I know you all don't like when I put my sentiments on things, so I could put it off a little bit and just cover that one. Actually, I think that's good. So I'd probably glue that together. So these are the essential sentiment dies from Spellbinders. I think they're on sale. Can you see if they come up on the sale price, Mike?
Yeah, I'll check. I think Essentially Yours sentiments.
Yes. Yeah, and you have to, yes, Essentially Yours sentiments. You can buy them all separately or as a bundle. I'm looking at my cabinet door, by the way, where I have them stuck. There's With Sympathy, Get Well Soon, Thinking of You, Hello Friend, Best Wishes, Happy Birthday, Congrats, and Thank You. And I really like the style of them, so I've already got a bunch cut. So this is what the die looks like that I got, the Thinking of You and the shadow die. So I think I'll do that. Those are from April. So these are not on sale, not on the 20% off because it's considered a new release. But I really like them. I think they're fantastic. I've used them before. But that's what I'll probably do is glue that on there. And that's it. Vellum would look nice too for the shadow. You're right. Vellum would look nice, Vicki. All right. So there's one. So I just have to glue that. What did Spellbinders just say? They said something. I need to glue these together. Okay. Good point. Spellbinders said these are considered a newer release, these sentiments. So it's not 20% off, but you can get the bundle of them and it's discounted. So it's a great deal. That's true. I use them all, as you can see here. Okay, so yes, I will tell you about the clogged glue bottle. So I think that just shows you a fun way. Real quick, let me just show you. See I don't know if you can see the dimension on it, the texture. I mean, it's pretty deep impression. And I didn't do a great job with the blue coloring because I was trying to hurry and not get my head in the camera, but you can see how impactful that is. And it really didn't take too long. Okay, so that's the Daffodil and Tulip press plate and stencils, and then the modern oval dies and the Essentially Yours sentiments. What I do, if I forget to put the lid on my glue bottle, is I keep a pin, a stainless steel pin, that I just put into the tip like that. Take it out, wipe any glue off of this so it doesn't dry on it, and now it'll be clear to come out. That's all it takes to unclog it. Every once in a while, like every few months, I will give the nozzle a bath in hot water. But gosh, I haven't done that in ages. All right, so there you go. Okay, so there's a card. There's a card. I'm all over the place, aren't I? I'm so sorry. Hope it doesn't run you away. Here's the thing. I'm always all over the place because I really try to answer as many questions as I can as I create and show as many ideas as possible, but that just happens. So of all the press plates that I showed today, this is the only press plate that was an outline press plate. All the other, well, no, this one is too. This is the Tulip and Windmill. But the other two I showed, these are reverse. The background is what presses. This is the outline, so that's why I had to color it. So that technique where I use stencils and then colored the background, you can do it with the stamped image. It doesn't have to be a press plate, all right? You could stamp an image, stencil or color it in, and then color the background with a marker. But what I like about this is, you can't see it in the video, but it's raised, so you got that texture to it. Okay, so that's the Tulips and Daffodils. Mine's very bold, and the blue and yellow is inspired by Yana because she's in Ukraine, but she has beautiful, soft examples using these if you want a soft look. Oh, okay, the Essentially Yours Sentiments Want It All bundle is on sale, but not included in the coupon. Yes, yep. All right, can you scroll it? Thank you. All right, now I'm gonna go back to the foiling that we did. I'm gonna make a card with that. And I've got this one prepped and ready to go. What you need? Oh, more glue. I've got this one prepped, so it should come together pretty quickly. And this will be a fun card design that you could do with any backgrounds, okay? And this is gonna have a very foiled look because I'm using a foiled background with the Daisies. This one was called the, the Daisy Shower Press Plate. So Daisy Shower Press Plate. I'm gonna have some fun with this. Now, I will use the foiled version for my example, but you don't have to do the card I'm about to do with a foiled version. You could use the press plate or the BetterPress version or the embossed version, because remember I showed you this version where we pressed it in with the embossing folder or with the embossing machine or the embossing plate and die cut machine. And I also showed you, find it, this version that was done with a BetterPress machine. So this was BetterPress machine. This was a die cut machine with an embossing mat. And then we have the foiled version, which I demoed before. And remember, I showed how to do the foil and then use the reverse, the leftover foil. Okay, so I'm going to use that for my next example. I wanted to use some foiling. And I don't know, I think I'll use, I think I'm going to use the gold version. I think I'll use the gold. Yeah, because I did an example off on the side where I used the silver. So I'm going to use the gold. So all this is the press plate done with the foil machine. And we're going to add some color to that. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible to save us time. But with the magic of TV, I've got one done that I can switch over to. All right, so for this, I think I will use ink. And I think I will make my flowers blue again, because why not? I'm going to leave them mostly, the flowers I'm going to leave mostly white. But at the center, I will do a little bit of blue ink. So let's use some, where's my ink stand? I need my ink stand. I had it before. Michael, what'd you do with it? Okay, I'm gonna use the cornflower just because it's a good color. It's not as bright of a blue as what I used before, but I think it'll be fun. I'm throwing things around. These are Altenew alignment guides. You could use a Post-it note, but it's like a stencil material to block things off. And what I'll do is I'm kind of blocking off the stem here, and I'm just going to ink over that center. And I will go heavy at the center and fade to lighter. Heavy at the center and fade to lighter so it's white tips. Okay? You can see that. And I'll do that on all of my flowers. I could do a variety of colors. Maybe that would be fun. Maybe I'll do that. Nah, I'm gonna keep it simple. So I'm gonna go in heavy at the center, fade out. Okay, and what happens is where there's foil, it's resisting that ink. So I get those white daisies with blue at the center. Don't worry, I'll make the actual center of the flower a different color in a moment. But that way I get that color in the petals quickly. The foil resists it, which I think is really fun. Now, if you really want to make this pop, you could come in with a little bit, indigo is a loud color, so I'm going to go light, but you could come in with a little bit more of the darker color around the center, so it really pops, but you don't have to. Okay, so this is just a quick way to color those. Now, I want to make the stems green. In the center of my flowers browns. They look kind of like daisies or coneflowers or whatever my imagination wants to make them. So I could use some masking and ink blending, but instead I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use markers. And the foil's going to resist the markers too. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'm using alcohol marker, but you could use whatever you want. And I'm coloring the stems with the green. I'm not going to do them all again because I've got the magic of television. I'll show you some finished ones. And you can even do some shading if you want with different colors of green. A lot of people have Copic markers. You can use those. I have those, and I also have the Olo, but I don't color much anymore, so I don't use them much anymore, but you could use whatever ones you want. So now I colored the stems are green. So there are different ways you can add color to things. Now here, for the centers, I've got a brown that I'm coloring over the foil, but then I will quickly take a dry cloth and rub off any of the excess ink that's sitting on top of the foil, so my foil stays true to gold. So now the centers will be brown, so I'm going right on top. Then I will even come in with a darker brown and put like little dots around the center just to add some more interest to it. And I would color the whole panel. So what will happen is you have these white daisies with like a touch of blue to them on a gold background. Okay, so you would just do them all. See how pretty that is? It's kind of hard to see in the video, but it's just beautiful in real life. Okay, so you can color over the foil with markers or ink blending. And here is a version I did off screen. So this was done, instead of gold foil, I used the silver prism foil, and I did the same technique to color those flowers. And I love that the tips can stay white and the background is gold. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't take very long to do, and it's very impressive. So I'm gonna make a card with this one. See, I have my my Spellbinders craft stack here. Okay, now I'm gonna do a fun windowy kind of card, and this is a technique you could do with any big dies and any background. Did you add the essential foil plates to the supply list in the YouTube description? Isn't that pretty? The essential solid foil plates.
The solid rectangle.
Yes. Yeah. I linked to the solid rectangle, but you can find the others over on Spellbinders. If Mike added something to the YouTube description, you just have to refresh your page and it'll show up down there. Okay, so this is a fun technique. If you were in the Concord and 9th event this weekend, I showed a similar thing, but it is something that's just very basic, but really will step up your card a bit, as Jeff Lindbergh says, from good to great. So I have this foiled panel that I added coloring, just like I showed you, and I trimmed it down to be 4 1/4 by 6 inches. I'm making an A6 card. And to remind, let me write this down. An A6 card is 4 1/2 by 6 1/4 inches. It's just a bit bigger than an A2 card. So I have an A2 note, or I'm sorry, an A6 note card, 4 1/2 by 6 1/4. That's my note card there. This is trimmed to be a little bit smaller than that, so that there's a nice little white trim around the edge. See that? Now, instead of just gluing it on here and slapping a sentiment on, we're gonna step it up a little bit. All right. I have the modern oval dies, the same ones I used on my last card. Tell you, I really like them. I'm gonna lay my foil panel down on my cutting plate, and I also have a very thin piece of copy paper. It's printer paper, and it's cut to the same size here. Okay, so I'm gonna lay that down on top. This way, when I die cut, I don't damage my foil. And I have another reason for it in a moment. I'm gonna take, let me think here. Hold on, I need to tape these two dies together. Hold on, just hold please. I use prism foil for that one. All right, I'm just holding these together, spaced as evenly as I can apart. I'm gonna put tape to hold them together. I really want them to stay together. This is Best Ever Craft Tape from Spellbinders. It's nice and sturdy. So now they're taped together. Now I don't want this to be too sticky, so I'm gonna use some anti-static powder on it, just so it doesn't, so I can keep those dies stuck together like that, but they're not too sticky. I did a video where I showed how I make the panel, how I make the card base, but just fold cardstock and then cut it to 4.5 by 6.25. Okay, back to this. I have my foil panel, and I'm gonna put this paper right on top of it, just to protect the foil, and I'm gonna use it as a template. So I'm gonna put this right into the center. Put it like right there. Now I don't want everything shifting, so I'm gonna put a little bit of tape to hold everything in place. All right, so there we go. Now I'll run that through. So this is gonna cut like an oval shaped ring out of the center. Yeah, thin frames do elevate the design. They really do, and I think ovals do too. But this is gonna be really stepped up. Just give me a moment. Okay, so there we have these pieces, right? There's all of our foil pieces. But I also have the printer paper one. I'm gonna use it, okay? It's like my jig, my template, okay? Now this, I'm gonna put on top of my folded note card. There's my folded note card. I'm gonna put this right at the center. I don't wanna damage that by doing all this die cutting on top of it. So that's why I made this little jig. So that little jig is taped on to the center of my note card. Now I can take all this out, but I'm keeping those dies together, and I'm gonna cut this from the front of my note card. Okay? All right. And I'm gonna pop that into the negative space of that printer paper, that little jig we created. So I'm gonna pop it on there. I could have kept it taped there. I should have done that. But I didn't. So we're just gonna wing it. Okay, so I popped it into that negative space of the printer paper, okay? And I'm gonna run that through. So what's happening is I will cut the ovals in the same place in the front of my note card as I did on my foil. Tag Spellbinders, Lorraine. I think they're still here. Okay. So what's happened is I've got the oval here. Now, it was cutting through 2 layers of heavyweight note card, right? So it's probably not, it didn't go through completely in the back here. So you could finish that with scissors or open up your card, take these pieces out here, and do it again. Just line it into what's partially cut here. In fact, I don't even need the printer jig here. I'm tearing things because I'm in a hurry, but you don't have to tear them. All right, so now I'll just pop that into what's partially cut and then run it through one last time on that. I shouldn't have torn up my jig. Oh well. So I go like that, run that through. So we are gonna have an oval all the way through the card. I know that seems weird right now. Just bear with me. It'll be cool in a moment. So watch. The oval goes all the way through the card, and the panel can go on the front, and it all lines up. See? One more thing we need to do. I forgot to cut this, so I need to cut it real quick. One more thing we need to do is a piece of cardstock. I'm going to cut mine to be a little bit smaller than 4.5. No, I'll do it at 4.5. A little smaller than 4.5 by 6.25. And at the center of that, this is just an extra piece. You'll see what we need it for later. I could have used the template, but I think I'll just eyeball it. See, I abused my template, but I probably can still use it. Let's try. To help me get it centered up. Or I could eyeball it. Oh, that's good enough. Okay, now I can put that in the center, and I'll cut through this. This will be the backer of my card, and you'll see why in a few minutes. And I'll run that through. So we will have our note card with the windows, the front panel with the windows, and an extra panel with the windows. And we're gonna put it all together right now, and you'll see why it's so fun. Okay, here we go. All right, so let me show you. We're gonna make a window frame. Just bear with me. Piece of acetate. It doesn't matter if this is heat resistant, cheap, expensive, it really doesn't matter. You just need some acetate. Mine's a little too wide, so I'm gonna trim them down. You want it to be cut a little bit smaller than your foiled piece. So let's see, I think that's good. Actually, I cut them to the same size as my foil piece. I should cut it a little smaller. Now my foil piece is 4 1/4 by 6 inches. So these acetate pieces, I have 2 of them, a little bit smaller. So here's my note card. I'm going to put adhesive around the window, and I will lay my acetate onto it. Okay? So 1 piece of acetate's glued right to the front of the card. Now, I'll put adhesive on the back of this and put that on top. So there is acetate sandwiched between. See? On the front of our card. Isn't that cool? Now, take your foil center and put that right into the acetate in the center. So see how the window is the frame and you can see all the way through. See? Now we need to do something in the inside. I want a floating panel here too. So what I'll do here is flip my card over. So you're looking at the back of the card. I'll put my acetate, my other piece of acetate onto the back of the card. Then remember that extra white panel? That's going to go on the back, and it's just going to hide my adhesive and make it look nice and clean on the back. So I'll just put that on the back. So now there is acetate through this front and acetate back here. Now we have our leftover white ovals that we need to just glue in position. Okay? First of all, the front, you can see the glue here. So I'll take a white oval and glue it on that side so it looks nice. Looks nice and finished. Then we need a place right here to write our personal sentiment, right? So I'm going to glue one right in the center here. Now I'm using the modern oval dies and I have an A6 card, but you could do whatever size card you want and whatever shape dies you want. Okay, so you could do circles, rectangles, hearts, whatever. And to make the back look pretty, I'll put one on the back because you can see the adhesive through it. I'll show you before I stick it down. See the adhesive through there? Looks kind of messy. And now on this, on the back, I could write, I do my hand stamped by Jennifer thing. Okay, so there we go. See? And it's completely see-through, that frame. So you can step up just a plain, I mean, it could be a plain background, stamped or stenciled or wherever. This one's pretty jazzy, but it could be a plain background, and it's just adding that little bit of acetate window really just makes it cooler. It just, like Jeff says, steps it from good to great, and store-bought cards don't do that, okay? So, as for a sentiment on this one, I did prep something, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. This is actually an Altenew set. I think it's for sale over on Spellbinders. It's not on sale, but you can buy it on Spellbinders site. I linked to it below. You can buy it on Spellbinders site, but since it's not a Spellbinder product, it's not 20% off, but they have it. This is the Altenew Flowering Hedge, which is a press plate set that creates beautiful images like this. I mass produced a bunch of these. So these are press plates. These are a little bit different to do this because there's alignment guides, and I've done or registration plates. I've done videos with that. I'm not going to do that today. But in here are press plates for all of these sentiments. Welcome, hello, friend, congrats, and then a bunch of little ones. So those are press plate sentiments. And I did a bunch because I like the hello, friend so much. I did a bunch where I did the press plate, and it's actually on watercolor paper. I don't know why I did that, but I did. And I stacked extra die cuts behind. And I just think that's beautiful and elegant. Okay, so this is the Flowering Hedge from Altenew. They sell it at Spellbinders, but it wouldn't be included in the 20% off. But what I chose, I was going to put this on here, like right here, but it just looked kind of not, it just didn't do it for me. So what I did is I used the press plate with the black foil. So now my sentiment is shiny, and that really stepped it up for me. So I have a foiled sentiment, and I feel like that it just pops more. In real life, it makes a big difference. So I'll do a foiled sentiment. So this is the Altenew Flowering Hedge press plates and dies. And I know you all don't like when I put things over my foiling, but I'm gonna put it right there in the center, okay? You could also put it off kilter, but I feel like enough of the daisies show that it's okay for me to put that right there in the center. And that's all I'll do. You could add some embellishments. I have no plans to. I feel like the shine is good. The clear window is cool. And look at that. That's beautiful. What is she doing over there? Oh, she went in there. As far as envelopes, there are A6 envelopes available, and that's what I have. So this is an A6 blue envelope. I get my A6 envelopes at Cards and Pockets, and it's a nice size to have because say you have an A2 card, a smaller card that's bulky or things are hanging off, you could put it in a bigger envelope so there's more room. All right? Yeah, you could cut that in half and just do hello or do friend, but I like this. I think it's fun. And you can see the coloring I did, the center of the flowers. Yeah, it gives you a floating effect. But really, it's not that much more bulk than just gluing the panel on the front. You got 2 pieces of acetate and that panel on the back, but that's not a whole lot. So these are the modern ovals that I'd used here. Yeah, matching envelopes really make a big difference. Really make a big difference. I feel like I put so much time into my cards that to put them in a wimpy envelope just isn't fair. And you can see, like, if I went with the darker blue, it just kind of changes it. There you go. How's that? Brianne just put a link to Cards and Pockets envelopes. When do I have time to mass produce sentiments? I don't know. I also sometimes will hire somebody to help me make a bunch so that I can make more cards. Some of those I think I hired somebody to do some, but okay, here's the thing. For you guys, I may be wrong, but I think for a lot of you guys, making cards is your therapy, right? Your escape. Making cards for me, as much as I like it, it's my job, right? So for me, the hobby part is in mass producing things or stitching things. I'm in the process of making a ton of the Spellbinders Sunflower Serenade flowers, a ton of them that I'll cover cards with. I've used those in a video. Lila, would you run up and get one of the containers of completed flowers off of Mallory's desk?
Yeah.
Please. She's going to bring those down. But that die set's on sale too. But there you go. See? All right. So there's another card. I don't know where the first one went, but I was going to try to do one more. Well, I had 2 more ideas, but I don't think I'll get it done. So let's go. I think the windmill needs some love. I like the windmill. I think I'm going to do something with that next. If I can find it all. Where did I put it? Remember there's this one here. This is, oh, I remember what I was going to do to that card. This is the 3 daisy one. And I'm just going to show you where I was headed with it. I was headed with making it on a 5x7 card. So this is what I demoed before, where I did the BetterPress system with blue ink and the 3 daisy press plate. I cut it into an oval, and I was going to put it onto a card and add some dimension to it. But that's where I was headed with that. I really like that Spellbinders embossing folders are big, so you can do a 5x7 panel in there, and there's plenty of room. Plenty of room. You can actually do A2 card panels in there. So I don't think I'm going to do that now. The other embossing folder, here it is. This embossing folder is also included in the sale. Let me show you how this looks because it's really pretty. That's the tufted the Petite Tufted embossing folder. I forgot, I was going to use it on this white frame here so that there was texture on it, but I'm actually glad I didn't, but I'm just going to demo with it real quick so you can see the texture that you get. Hold on. I'm going through my die cut machine. It gives beautiful results. This one's called the Shady Leaves. I don't know if, well, I guess if it came out in February of 26, it's probably still available. It'd be on sale too. Gosh, can you see? There we go. Now you can see better. That's the Shady Leaves embossing folder. I'll get that in a minute. Thank you, Lila. And this is the Petite Tufted. This is one of my favorite folders. Look at the detail. It's unbelievable. If you don't have the Petite Tufted embossing folder, good chance to get it right now because it's 20% off. But look at that texture that you get. And I just feel like it goes with anything. Anyway, so that was my other idea, but I want to do the windmill. I just have to find it all. Oh, here are the flowers. I tell you, here's my mass producing. I do it. This is the Sunflower Serenade from Spellbinders. And I'm just using up scraps of cardstock that I had and doing some inking and adding. The golds I use there are from the Gold Treasured cardstock pack from Spellbinders. And then I'll be able to make a bunch of cards. I have some blue ones too. Yeah, I have issues. What can I say? All right, let's do the tulips and windmills, and then I'll have to wrap it up. Running out of time. I always want to show more than I can. If I would have eaten beforehand, that would have been a good idea. Okay, so I demoed before using the tulips and windmill with the BetterPress system, right? So this is, I actually, for this one I used the cotton paper from Spellbinders for the BetterPress, but it's just, you can do this with white cardstock. I use the Altenew black pigment ink and use the BetterPress. This looks beautiful foiled. I think I showed you it foiled earlier, but oh yes, I did this foiled earlier. Let me find it because everybody was saying they liked the reverse. Let me find it. It's over here. Here's what it looks like when it's foiled. Oh, I like the foiling. Oh, look at that. And then here was the reverse. Everybody was saying they liked the reverse. And then this is where I made an impression. There was some ink on it, so that's why it looks like that. It wasn't clean. But for what I'm using, this was just done in the BetterPress, like I demoed earlier. This is the Windmills and Tulips press plate, and there are stencils available to go with it. I'm wondering, no, I have this grand idea. I don't think I'll have time for it, but I have a grand idea. Mike doesn't like when I say that. I have a grand idea. But it'll take time. So we're going to do the best we can. We'll see. All right. I wanted to break this up into layers. I'm going to start first with this one, and I'm going to do the flowers at the bottom. So there are layering stencils. I did notice before I tore my stencil because I wasn't being a nice, gentle person. So I have to put that part on. See, that tulip isn't covered? So I'm going to have to put that on. And I'm not really sure about colors on here. I will tell you, Yana has some amazing examples with this. She has some that are soft color palettes, and she has some that are bold color palettes. I recommend going and seeing some of the ones Yana's done. I'm just going to do, I think I'm going to go bold. I don't know why. Okay, so there we go. This will do the greenery, and it'll also do part of the windmill. I haven't planned out all my colors, so it may turn out atrocious, but we'll try it together. Did Colin come? Where's Colin?
I think he swept through.
He just left?
I thought he was here.
Oh. It might have been Cammie. Okay. My boy. Okay. So this will give me,
Going to the game tomorrow.
I know, I'm with him tomorrow night. Because I was supposed to go live tomorrow, but instead I am going with my boy. All right, I got Fresh Lawn ink here. I gotta do this as fast as I can. I'll do some Fresh Lawn. Now, I, again, did this on the Spellbinders cotton panels that are great. It's the best paper to use with your BetterPress. I don't always use it because I find the BetterPress works great with any cardstock. However, the best for giving a nice impression is that cotton panel. It's not great for ink blending, right? Because that's not what it's intended to be, but I use it anyways. Or I'm using it with ink blending anyway. So if you notice I don't make a great blend, that's why. So I want some depth to this, so I'm coming in with some Forever Green just along that top edge there. I don't know. Seems to be okay. Then I've got my windmill. I don't know what color I'm going to make my windmill. I think I'll do some browns. So I have Forever Green and Fresh Lawn for my grass. Let's do Cup of Joe. No, let's do caramel. Let's do caramel. So this is caramel. Oop. Oh, man. Didn't mean to do that. There's probably some leftover ink on here, but that's okay. Let's do some caramel. And I know somebody's probably out there saying that's not the color of windmills, but you know what? It's my make-believe card. Looky there, looky there. I'm gonna take this little thing off, but I was thinking about doing dimension. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do it though. I'll have to do it in another video with another product. Okay, now we have, I just want to show you how beautiful this is. And we could do the same technique we did on the last one. Where did my magnet go? Oh, here it is. All right, so let's do our tulips. I'm going to do just a mix of colors here instead of, I don't know, overthinking it like I usually do. I'm going to do a mix of colors here. I'm going to do some yellows, some pink, and let's see, let's do azalea. No, let's do ultra pink, butter bar, and let's throw in some wild berry from Concord and Ninth. Yeah, I like the idea of another video too, except I only have so many hours in a day. Live videos seem like they take a lot less time because I don't have to edit, but they still take a lot of time because, I spent 2 days prepping these ideas and then linking, and I don't know. My point is, I'll try. It's just, only have so many hours in the day. But I am going live tomorrow with some other ideas.
Saturday.
No, Saturday. I'm going live Saturday. Thank you, Mike. Whatever. So I'm just doing a little butter bar here and there on some of the flowers. I don't know. Maybe on all of them. Kind of. Okay. So I did some butter bar. Now I'm going to also do a little bit of azalea. Or no, ultra pink. I might also pull in a little pale tomato. So what's happening here is the ultra pink is overlapping with the butter bar and creating an orange that I don't have to even get out an orange ink. The overlap will take care of it for me. So just put a little pink on all of them. You can mask if you don't want to touch between, but I don't care if the inks touch each other, if the ink touches all of them, because I'm just doing a quick application here. Trying not to spend too much time. Then I want some pale tomato. Here's the thing, a lot of these inks will just kind of smooth out on their own, so you don't need to. Saturday it'll be 1 o'clock. Coming in with, and this is the nice thing about having some smaller brushes on hand too, because you can do selective coloring. So each flower has it has 2 or 3 colors of ink on it. Just so it's like a field of interest. I mean, you could definitely do them all pink tulips or all yellow or red. Red would be really impactful. You can also do whatever you want because it's your make-believe tulip place and you can do anything.
I'm going to be disappointed if those windmills don't spin.
My windmills will not be spinning today. Sorry, Mike. On some of them, I'm going to come in with just a little bit of wild berry on the bottom, which is a darker color. But I feel like that might make it pop. I'm going for bold here. Remember, you can make this a really soft field of flowers. I don't know. I wanted bold. Look at those. All right, now up here are the windmill, whatchamajiggers. What do you call those, Mike? The windmill
Blades?
blades. Thank you. That I think that's what they're called. I'm sure there's a technical term, and I'm sure somebody much smarter than me will know. It was really cool when we were on our cruise and you could see the windmills like out in the ocean. I just think that's fascinating. I have a gray blending brush here that I'm hoping has some ink on it. Nope, it's all dry. So I'll just get a light gray ink here and just do a little bit of shading at the center. I don't know, whatever. I don't think you can go wrong with these. Okay, so there's that one. Now this is the stems, or sorry, the leaves, and more of the windmill. But the windmill I'm going to leave, the rest of the blades I'm going to leave white. There is a line of like field out here. Fins or blades, thank you. Yeah, wildberry is a loud color. Wildberry kind of hits you on the face. But sometimes that's what you need. So I'm going to use some spicy mustard and for that little row of field back there. This is spicy mustard. I don't know why. Seems like a good idea. Spicy mustard right across here. Just like gold. I'm gonna have like gold colors in the sky, so I'm thinking that's why I did that. Then I'm gonna, shouldn't have let that move. So what's happening here is my stencil doesn't have enough room to stick to the sticky mat because my paper's too big, but that's okay. All right, so I have greens. Let's get some greens. I'm gonna go lighter than I did on the grass, so I'll use kiwi and a little bit of fresh lawn, but not much. So we'll do kiwi first. I'm going to use the same brush that I used before, but switching to a lighter color, so I'll just rub some of that darker color off. That'll be good enough. So this is Kiwi from Hero Arts. This shows you that I mix my ink lines. I don't feel like you have to stick to one. I think it's good to mix your inks to get the colors that you want. So I'm just doing a little bit of fresh lawn along the base of some of the leaves. Not too much, just for a little shaded look. Let's see how we got it. Oh, Yana. Yana, so good. She's so good. This one does stems and clouds, or stems and trees. Other questions, Mike, that I hate ignoring people. I think I'm gonna do the stems in the kiwi color.
You ever been to the Netherlands?
Have I been to the Netherlands? No, I haven't. But I think I'm going there next summer. Am I going there next summer? Do you know?
Probably.
I'm going on a trip with some crafters and my mom and Lila next summer. I think we're going there. I don't know where we're going. But I've wanted to. It's on my bucket list. Always wanted to. So this does the stems, and then there's some trees back there. I'm just going to do them quickly with the fresh lawn. Probably should have done something different. But okay, we're just finishing this off here. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. So you could cut this and just have a tulip field and skip the windmills if you don't want the windmills on there. So that would stretch this a lot more too. Now this is the clouds and the rest of the windmills. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of the caramel to shade the rest of the windmills, and I'm going to leave my clouds bright white, I think. This was kind of inspired by a card that Yana did. Let's see if I can find hers. She did one that inspired this somewhat. Hers is significantly better than mine. If you search on Yana's blog, you'll find it. Okay, so this is caramel. I'm just going to do a little bit of caramel on here. Just a little bit. I did it heavier at the base of the windmill, so I'm just going a little, kind of around the edges with the with a lighter hand. And the clouds, I think I'm going to leave the clouds for now because I'm not sure what I want to do. I love it. Now, for the clouds or the sky, I'm going bold. Remember, this is my make-believe scene. You could do blues, and I know some people will say you should have done blues, but I want to play. So I'm doing yellow first, butter bar. Again, this was inspired by when Yana did. Hers will be much better, but whatever. I wanted like a gold and pink sky to kind of go with the flowers that I have on the bottom. Because why not? You live in between tulip fields. I want to live there. That sounds delightful. Now come in with the pink and overlap that, the ultra pink. By the way, when you, like say you're watching this and you decide to invest in this tulip and windmill press plate and stencils, when you get it, like when it shows up at your house, go ahead and go into Google and search on the product name and then click images. And you will see card examples made by a lot of card makers that show you many ways to do the same products. That will be very different than what I do or what Yana did. And that's a great way to really stretch your supplies, is by looking at what others do. Don't just stick with the same people you always watch. There's a lot of great card makers out there. I think I saw Simon Hurley did something with this. Let's see. I think I'm gonna like it. Oh, I love it. I love it, but I do think my clouds need a little bit of a pink tint to them. Why not? See, I sometimes take a risk because you might be happy with the results. You might not, but you can just do it again. That's part of the creative process. So I'm going to do a little bit of pink on here, not much. So I have such a mess here. Okay, I'm going to do just I have pink ink still on here. Maybe that's not enough. What I'll do is I'll take the same ultra pink. I'll ink up my brush, but go in light and just add like a pink to it. To the kind of to the base of the clouds, I guess. So the top will still be white. Just like a little tint. A touch. Although I just got the top of this cloud with a lot of pink. Oh well. It's okay. Let's see. Yeah. Look at that. Oops. All right. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, come on, Yana. That's amazing. Isn't that beautiful? So there are a ton of examples using this. I'm considering what I was considering doing, but I don't know that I'll have time, was to cut like along this little horizon line, this line here, and then pop this up, and then also cut around the windmills, which would take a long time, and pop that up. So I have layers, but I really think I like it just like this. I don't think I want, I need to trim it down obviously, but I don't think I want That covers up too much. I don't think I want to zhuzh it up too much. Sometimes you just need to leave it as is. And then I could use my sentiments from before. I will say, Yana does have a press plate sentiment set with coordinating dies, and they have sentiments in it. I can't find it right now, but there's sentiments in it that go with the theme of florals, but I can't find mine. So you can look into that. It's called I have them linked in the collection below, but it's called the, hold please. Where is, find it. It's the sentiment set called Bouquet of Hugs. It's a press plate set, so you could foil with it, do all the things I talked about, and a die set. And in it has the sentiments: missing you dearly, thank you for helping me grow, sending a bouquet of hugs, wishing you a birthday that blooms as beautifully as a tulip in spring, and your kindness makes the world blossom. So those are options too, but I think I'm going to use one of these. Sympathy might be nice, but I think a simple hello friend right at the middle. See, I know you guys don't like that, but I do like my sentiment right in the middle, because that's where your eye goes. Oh, here's a hello friend. All those got tangled up, and that would look really pretty right there. Or you could put it maybe down in the tulips. That's another option, like that. But let me see about ovals. I love me some ovals. So let's look at oval dies. These are the essential ovals. I'm telling you, they're must-haves. I use them many times. These are the wider ovals. I think I like that. I do. Oh, I have another idea. Okay, I'm going to do a different idea. It's not a hard one. It's easy. So I have an oval here. Let me first cut the background down so that I don't have that trim. Okay. Oh, I am not the best card maker ever. No, no, no. I will tell you who's better. It's not a competition, and this is in my view. Everybody has a different idea of like what makes a card maker really good. But my favorites at the current moment, and have been for a while, Yana, JC Gaspar, Carly T over on Instagram, Sky Paper Scissors, which is Sika over on Instagram. I mean, there's a lot of great card makers out there, but here's the thing. Everybody's favorite is different, and that's the joy of it. We don't want just one style or whatever out there. We want a variety. Oh, I'm going to love it. All right, here we go. We're going to wing it, and you're going to all freak out at me, I think. But we'll do it anyways. So I got my panel. I have an essential oval die. Telling you, in this sale, get the essential and modern ovals. I use them a lot. If you've watched my videos, it's a common thing I do. Now on this one, I could do that clear frame, but I want to do something a little different, because sometimes I feel like, yeah, JC is great. I feel like just leaving it flat and putting a sentiment on can be boring. So sometimes you want to do something different, right? Just to make it stand out more. I think, hold on. I need to find another oval that's a little bit bigger. Let's go with this one. Take another oval that's a little bit bigger. Yeah. And we're going to have some fun here, hopefully. We're going to cut again. What are you clicking away at over there, Mike? Browsing. Hi, I'm glad you're all here. Thank you. And here's the thing. It's kind of like Spellbinders doesn't want you to only create with Spellbinders. They want you to use like Concord and Ninth and Pink Fresh and Altenew, because who wants to be the only industry or only company in an industry. That's not an industry. We need variety. We need each other. So it's the same with the designers. So I could do the thing I did before where it's see-through there, but I'm going to do dimension instead. Yep. Oh, remind me, please. There's something I want to demo before I go. Don't let me forget. So let me do this. So I have an A2 card base here, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Again, the essential oval dies are proportioned just right for that. So it's going to have a teeny tiny white trim. Probably could have trimmed it down to have a bigger, but whatever. Should be good. Liquid adhesive is our friend. Now on this, you have a few options. Let me see. I think this might be, what you could do is die cut a few ovals to add depth to it. What I'm going to do is, see, I think this is too wide. Actually, it's just the right. Yeah. This is Altenew foam tape, and it's just the right width. So I got to be really careful. Hi, Michelle. Thank you. Michelle, thank you for the flowers. I love them. I love the mug it came in. So I'm just going to put this on the back. If you take the release paper off, it will curve better. So I'm going around. Oh, you know what I should have used? Altenew came out with black foam tape, and so black could peek out the sides instead of white. It's just another option. So I'm going to just pick this up. I probably should have just cut my foam tape a little more narrow or made a bigger frame so I don't have to be as careful with the white, but I'm trying to hurry. Hold on. That's going to bother me. Hold, please. Is Gina here? Hi, Gina. I have on my to-do list today to go back and watch your live from earlier. I'm not feeling great, so I didn't get to watch it earlier. Okay, I'm a perfectionist, so I want to redo this. Gina's the best. Gina, we were talking about the intercut before and how you can use it with the Glimmer machine and with the BetterPress system. And we also talked about the fuse and how that's another great option for foiling. I always talk about how the Glimmer and fuse are kind of like a cat and a dog. They're both great animals. They're just different, right? They're different. I have many videos with the fuse. Okay, so I just cut this a little more narrow. Again, if you take the release paper off, it'll curl better. I'm going, Gina and I are working on I think we have a date. I'm not going to tell it yet because first of all, I don't remember. Second of all, sometimes one of us has to change plans, usually me, for another tag team with Gina because we've missed doing that. We need a little more to make it all the way around. So I'm just cutting it narrow. There are even narrower foam tape strips out there. I just don't want to go searching for it, so this is easy enough. Didn't Gina have a live earlier? I think she did.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw somebody say she didn't. Gina's got a live schedule. She is the one who inspired us all to do lives. Okay. Drink. Gina, I'm at the point where I'm really hungry and I have a sore throat, so I'm doing this as fast as possible. Okay, so put this in. Normally I would put liquid adhesive on there so that I could wiggle it, but instead I'm going to try my best to just line it up. Sorry my head's in the way. I just had a birthday, so I'm guessing there are extra gray hairs in there. Okay, so it's popped up. And then Gina K Connect in the center, pop that in the center. And I probably, you know what, I would probably have done, if I go do this again, I would do thicker foam tape so you have more of that shadowy effect. But see how that just adds some interest to it? Creates like a nice focal point. So I probably would do this again with a thicker foam tape. I am hangry. I'm just really hungry. There we go. So you got that like eclipse look. Okay. And then I would finish it off with this and this. And that's it. So that's Yana's Tulips and Windmills. It's a press plate and coordinating stencils, and then I use the Essential Ovals, and that's an A2 card panel. All right. Isn't that fun? There's one more thing I want to show you. I have to, I might have to look it up real quick. We are going to have a giveaway. Do they have?
No.
They don't have. Okay, so I will do a giveaway of, oh, by the way, before I say that, hold on. You know all those flowers I showed you earlier? Those pink and purple flowers? Oh, they're right in front of me. I already made a bunch of these because I knew I'd want to make more. What was I going to say about these? Oh, somebody asked about all the die cutting I did here. I did buy multiples of this set. I think I bought 5 or 6 die sets because I plan to make a lot more. So, yeah, I do buy, if I'm going to do a ton, which this is just a smidgen of how many I'm making, I will buy multiples of things. All right, now this is called the DIY Easel. I showed this in a video a long time ago, but I haven't shown it since, and so I thought I'd go ahead and show it now. So give me a second to get it together. We're gonna do a giveaway. How about, let me think. How about I will order the windmill, the tulip and windmill press plate and stencils for the lucky winner, okay? So if you are leaving comments in the chat, you're already eligible for the giveaway. Mike will pick it in a few minutes. If you haven't yet left a comment, you'll want to do that now. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so this is the DIY easel. The reason I'm showing this is I just bought an extra set of these because I'm going to go ahead and make a bunch of these that I can have ready to go in cards. Because, you know, sometimes you make a card that doesn't stand up well on its own, right? Sometimes that happens and it makes for a fun design. But in those cases, I like to have an easel that I include in the envelope with it, okay? So what you do is you cut the pieces and you glue the 2 flaps together. There's this little hashed score line that it creates. You glue those flaps together and then you spread this. I should have folded it first. Hold on, let me fold those. You fold along the score lines, the hashed lines, I don't know what you want to call them. So fold along that first, then glue those flaps together. And there are a few ways you can assemble the rest of this little easel, but I'm going to show you the way that I've done it in the past, and it seems to work just fine, okay? So that's the easel, but it flattens to go in an envelope. Then there's this piece that has 2 little score lines on the side, okay? And I put liquid adhesive on one flap and liquid adhesive on the other flap. And then I open this up and I put this flap with liquid adhesive in that little kind of square area. And I hold that there. Then this flap with the liquid adhesive in this little area. So this is an easel that will hold any card on display nicely. So you can put one of these easels in the envelope if you have a card that you think isn't going to stand up nicely. You know, sometimes if you do a fun fold, it doesn't want to stand up nicely, or you just make like a tag. This is nice to include. Also, I feel like side folding note cards fall over a lot. Do I have any here? Side folding note cards can fall over a lot. All these cards back here are made by card makers, and most of them do side folding or top folding because they stand up better. So I can't find one to show as an example. All of those are top folding because they stand up nicer. But say you have a side folding card that has a lot of weight on the front and it may want to fall over some, just include one of these, and that way the recipient has something to put it on. So what I do is I take it and I just fold it flat like this, and I put it in the envelope with the card. Then when it's clear that it pops up and they have a nice little easel. See how cute it is? You can even stamp something on there. You can make the easel in colors to match, but it's a nice little display thing. So I wanted to mention this because I often include an easel with my cards. I just don't remember to show you in a live. So since it's 20% off right now, I thought I'd show it again. I've shown it before, but I thought I'd show you again because I noticed that you can get for the 20% off. All right, what have I forgotten, Mike? That's what I wanted to remember to show. So you can see it flattens nicely. Isn't that fun? It's just a good way to display any card. You know, like I have, let's see, where's that 5x7? Oh, this is a 5x7 card. This uses Christina Warner's line. This is from Leanne. She's in the comments. And see how it just makes a nice little stand that you can include. So that's a DIY easel. All right. So there you have it. Some ideas. I didn't get to do them all, but have I ever? Have I ever? And some folks are asking why I'm making so many flowers. You'll find out. Oh, it's something that Mike and I have been trying to do for over a year. And I just haven't had the guts to get it started. But I'm hoping to get it started soon. And you'll find out what. But anyway, so we have the tulip and windmills. That's not glued together yet, but you get the gist. Then we have the daffodil and tulips, and I lost the rest of the sentiment for this. There's a shadow somewhere, and then the daisies. So there you go. And I have lots of pieces left over that I can use to make lots of cards. And so many that I demoed at the beginning. But look at how perfect. Come on. That's the press plate with the BetterPress system in blue ink. And you didn't have to do it a million times, right? Like you would with the stamp. There you go. And I have a little easel for it all. All right. There's some ideas for you. And if you are, sometimes I'll do a live using like new products from Spellbinders. And maybe you're not shopping at the time or you want to wait until it's on sale, you can go to my blog, and at the top you'll see under features, I think that's where we have it. There you'll see on the menu bar across the top it says galleries. Sorry, there's a little galleries at the top of my website. If you click galleries, it drops down to video gallery and card gallery. And what you can do is go into either the video gallery, where it will show you a gallery of all my videos, or the card gallery, which is what I recommend instead. Go to card gallery, and there are ways you can search. You can search on themes, you can search on techniques, and you can search on company. You can search on Spellbinders and see a lot of the cards that I've made with Spellbinders. Now, some of my live cards aren't in there because I haven't put them in there yet. But I'm working on that. So you can go and see all of my Spellbinders cards, and you may think, oh, she did that card 2 years ago, maybe I can get that on sale now. And you would be able to if it's still available. So that's a way to kind of go back and look at some things. Brianne just put a link to my card gallery in the chat. All you have to do is search by company on Spellbinders. Just click the box and click update, and all my Spellbinders cards pop up. Yeah. It is a fun feature. I use it a lot to help me find old ideas, like where I want to kind of reinvent an old technique. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, I know I'm not really good at talking about those galleries, but it's something that we have. You can also search for videos in the video gallery. Yeah, that's Mike's doing. Mike did those things. Okay, Mike, do you have a winner of our, they get the Tulips and Windmills press plate and coordinating stencils.
Yeah, just
Mike's gonna pick a winner. Somebody just asked about the card stands, those the stands, the metal ones behind me that I have my cards standing on. I will put a link in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'll put a link in the chat. I gotta open up the chat. I don't have it open over here. Oh, my tummy's growling. Oh, no. Yeah, so my next live is Saturday at 1. Okay, I just put a link in the chat. The link next to my name, that is the little metal stands that all my cards are on up there. The reason I have them on metal stands back there is when I go to get cardstock, I knock them over a lot. Remember also that Spellbinders cardstock is included in the sale. And I love their cardstock, so that's something to keep in mind too. Do you have a winner?
yes, I do.
Who's the winner?
The winner is Susan Drago.
Susan Drago.
Drago.
Susan Drago, you are the winner. Go to my website and under Contact Me, send us your address, and we will get that ordered for you so that you can play along with some of these ideas. All right. Okay, so there was a lot in that live.
I
There's a
pinned
lot.
the first.
Good. Mike pinned Susan's name too. I did a lot in this. So remember, you can always rewind and catch it again. Also, you can check out my press plate playlist where I go deeper dive and slower explaining all of these different ways to use press plates. But I just wanted to kind of revisit all of them in one and show you different ways to use backgrounds on cards. We did one where we popped up that frame, one where we did the see-through card, and one where we did like a set back frame. So you don't have to just do cut into a rectangle and glue it on the front of a card. You can just add those little bit of interest to really make your card stand out. Susan, sorry. Wrong Susan. All right. Is that it, Mike? Oh, that was almost 3 hours. I'm so sorry. I talked too much. All right, I'm going to go eat. I hope you all do the same. I thank you for being with me and sticking with me as I throw so much out there. I will be live on Saturday. And yes, I'm working on doing the titles of my lives and the thumbnails. It's just a lot of work, and I'm trying to get better at that, so I promise I will. If you ever have a question on where to find a card of mine, join my Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group, because Brienne's in there and she can find anything. She's my link ninja. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I will see you Saturday at 1 for more card making. Take care.